you have nothing. Yeah, no, I mean, Caitlin's a powerhouse, and see, she just sort of came in, and again, I think, like Drew said, the casting was so spot on. Everyone had their little piece, and it came together itself, organically. And we were just really sort of thrown into the deep end altogether, and somehow it all just worked, and we somehow like each other and don't hate each other, and I think that helps.
I'm just learning that Deniz is Australian.
Yeah.
Is this surprising you guys do? Wow, he's good, man.
Yeah.
I would chime in and say that a lot of it was also on the page, and also when you shoot a pilot, we shot the pilot in Vancouver in March of 2023, you have a lot more time to shoot a pilot than you do to shoot every subsequent episode, and that gave us time to, I think, find the chemistry between the cast and to gel personally as well as professionally on set. I had never met Caitlin before. I was a huge fan of hers, going back years, PAX, and obviously Always Sunny in Philadelphia. We were on the same network on FX for a while, but we had never really met. So just trying to figure out, I knew that the chemistry between Karadek and Morgan was going to be one of the key elements to the show. How much of a curmudgeon should I play versus, this kind of reluctant acquiescence to her obvious genius. And so trying to find that, was kind of probably the biggest obstacle, but Caitlin made it very easy. She's very, very easy to work with, and you never feel like you're acting with your boss.
And I think you're right with the Vancouver, the pilot being shot in Vancouver. It felt like we were like at camp. Like we were all like away from our families, away from responsibilities, and like forced together at camp for a month to do this pilot.
Going off of that, Drew and Todd, I want to kick it back to you first.
Boy, no pressure. Caitlin is so great to work with, and she's like a lead. She's like, it's hard to explain. She's like such a good role model, and to be able to just, work with her and see everything she does, she really helps lead this entire show, obviously. But on top of that, just being so kind and genuine. But it's been a lot of fun to work with her and Amirah and everyone else.
I feel like Caitlin is very naturally nurturing and motherly, so playing her daughter hasn't been very hard. It feels very natural to do. And especially because Ava and Morgan's dynamic is very interesting, and they kind of butt heads at times. But I feel like it adds a nice vulnerability to the storyline that I think is it's a beautiful story that's being told.
And it's also I forgot to say this earlier. You're right. Thank you. It's especially the bond with me and Caitlin, with that having that high IQ, and it's you have your own special moments, and I think that's really special and helps lead those family moments, and it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Taran, kind of going off of that.
Actors are some of the finest talent I've ever worked with. But Caitlin deserves a lot of credit for setting the tone. And I knew Caitlin personally as a parent first. Our kids went to the same school. So seeing her name attached to this was very exciting for me. And she does a great job of sort of making it, I feel, a safe place to explore. She cares, and as a leader, that's really, really what all you can hope for on set.
There's boundaries, right? You're either in it, you're in the genre, or you're outside of the genre. But within the sandbox, there are, infinitesimal grains of sand, and you can build all kinds of sandboxes. So the mind blower for me was figuring out that you could find freedom within the stricture of form. You know what I mean? And without being able to do that, I think it would become monotonous. It would become boring. But there's never been a boring day on our set for me.
Biggest thing I learned was how bad of a detective I'd be. Like, it's really hard. The things that we figure out, and the Caitlin figures out, it's really hard. It's a lot of tension. And
I have to agree, Deniz.
Yeah, I really could be great. I think I'm only speaking for you, but I personally would not be a good detective.
Well, cooking that stuff up in the writer's room is also hard.
Yeah.
It just doesn't come naturally. Drew, right?
I just write cop stuff.
Yeah, there is a scene in the pilot where she points out the wind wouldn't be blowing from that direction. I would never. What?
Yeah, to be fair, that was in a French show. So
So credit to
I can't really take it.